Welcome back to the next stop on my record road trip. We're here in Yuba City, California for part 2 of the trilogy. We're at the Sound Annex. We're going to talk to Chris. He's going to give us a tour, show us around, and we're going to pick up some new music today. Let's go check it out.
All right. Greetings from Sound Annex. How the hell are you?
Show us around the store.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in, guys. The way that this works, this is the stuff that I've taken in within the last month, and then it slowly travels across the room. Then I have CDs, DVDs, VHS, incense, and glass. We have 45s and components. We buy, sell, trade, we special order. We have a few Record Store Day things left over from the last drop in April, as we are Record Store Day affiliated. We also do guitar lessons every week, and we have live music every month. We've either got it or we can get it, basically. It's alphabetical over here, alphabetical over here. Smaller sections are a little bit more random because they get touched a lot. Hopefully, we'll have larger sections to be able to incorporate more music, but we're coming up on 4 years in November, and we're just, this is what we have presently, a really fantastic collection of high quality records at affordable prices.
So I was just with Bert at Sound Attitude, and you used to work for Bert, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. I went to high school in 1999, and he opened in 1996. So I would walk there during my lunch break. You know, we had a good, decent amount of time, and rather than buying a sandwich, I would spend my money on CDs. And it was really cool, you know, because I would, I'd call the mall and I would try to price the thing that I was after, and it would be like 20 bucks. I'd call Bert and he'd be like, oh yeah, it's like $13. It'll be here on Thursday. Cool. And so I was able to spend the same amount of money and almost get twice as much music. You know, that sort of history that he has in his store has enriched my knowledge, and I am trying to impart a similar history and knowledge to people through my store. And I imagine that all stores try to do that. They try to preserve. The first article that was written in the newspaper about our store, they referred to us as like a loud library, which I thought was really cool.
That's awesome.
A lot of these records come from our local area. I'd say probably like a 50-mile radius. Okay. And we have friends out in the field that help us find records. We get a lot of people from the neighborhood. You know, most businesses rely on like a brand new product to sell. Right. And I would say that a large majority of my inventory is sourced from the people that already have these items. Right. It's incredible recycling. We love it. It's funny too, because the longer that I've owned a record store, I get into sort of like buyer psychology, and I realize not everybody that comes into a record store is a collector. When you think about it, when records first came out, they weren't for the purpose of collecting. It was for like birthing the art into the world, right, to be shared with the masses. Collecting is something that has happened since that time, and so it's really cool to meet people that have these collections and see and hear their stories and what makes this important. It's great history sharing, it's great knowledge information, it's a great way to know your neighbor, and somebody will come in here and they'll talk about a concert that they went to in the 70s or 80s. I've talked to people that have seen Johnny Cash. I've talked to people that have seen Elvis. It's just so cool to know that those people still feel excited about that point of their life, and they still remember it as clear as day, and it's sort of like the shine in their life is from that experience. You know, we get to be a part of everybody's sort of discovery moment. I also find that a lot of businesses don't really get to impart a personality, and so that's kind of the cool thing about record stores, or at least that I found from having my own space, is that it can be nuanced with a multitude of different things. Everybody that listens to music also has a space where they listen to music. I'm an appreciator of objects and different things, and I feel like they all sort of have a power and a quality that enhances either your living or listening experience, or even both. I'm all about being comfortable, and I think if you've got quality records and you have a comfortable environment, you know, what more could you ask for? That's the cool thing about records, you know, in the digital music age, records are kind of about slowing your life down, and I think we do need that. I think we need to take time for ourselves in different ways. So record, you got to take out, you got to put on, you got to sit down. It's an experience. It's a listening experience, and so I find a lot of people are gravitating to it.
And then you gotta stop it and turn it over, flip it over to listen to the next part of it.
Yeah, a lot of people, everybody's saying like, oh, records are making a comeback. It's like, I would go one further and I would say the records have always been here. It is the people that are making a comeback.
Right.
I think what they're understanding is that a life of convenience is actually a life of dependence. My friend would say that digital downloads are lifeless. Get a physical copy.
Right.
It's also very enriching. It's fun to share records with my wife. It's fun to share records with other people, my children. I remember one morning I was driving my daughter to school, and she was sitting in the back seat, and she got to choose the music we were listening to that day. She was probably like 6 or 7 at the time. And she kind of paused for a minute, and she said, Tom Waits. And it's like, when you let your children hear music, whenever you share music with your family, like, it does make an impression. I'm very much about memories. To have good memories, you have to be doing fun things now that you will remember fondly later. And I think like this is a whole way to bring us all closer together. I mean, this is all the emotions and all the belief and love on wax.
I know you have other events that you hold here.
Yeah, we do live music. At the end of the month when everybody's broke, we put on a free show. And we did that for 3 years at our original location. Our first location was about 300 square feet. This location is larger by about 500 square feet, which has allowed us to incorporate the guitar lessons room. The first store was essentially the size of the space that we're in right now. I mean, my register was there, the turntable was here, the front door was there, the bathroom door was here, the shirt rack was here, and Mike G taught guitar lessons right here. And he did that for 3 years, God bless him. And I told him whenever we were getting this upgrade, I said, I will make sure that you have a classroom and a space. And now he has his own space, and so I'm so privileged to have him as a very close personal friend. And the other reason I like having him here is because you think about guitar lessons and you think like, well, where do you take guitar lessons? Maybe in an instrument store, maybe at a dude's house, or maybe he comes over to you. I think it's a cool idea to learn how to play guitar surrounded by the influences which are maybe a part of the reason why you want to learn to play guitar.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that that's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
Is this idea that, we need to feed that desire. We need to help you see your dreams come to fruition.
Right.
We need to, not if, but when. Right. And that's cool to be able to actualize. And it's really cool because we've had live events where I've come back the next day and I get out there and I look and there's an energy as a result of what corresponded there.
In the air.
And it's really cool. It ends up being a lot of people, my friend Frog Dog said, it's like a testing ground. People get to come in. Everybody does like their 20, 30 minutes. And then at the end of that, everybody's talking amongst each other, looking at everybody's equipment. Hey, how'd you do this? Hey, what are you working with over here? And it turns into like this brain factory out there. And it's incredible to realize because these people live in proximity to one another. And it's this event that's brought them together where they would have otherwise been doing something differently.
Right.
So now they're coming together, now they're talking, now they're exchanging interests and information. Now they are setting up future opportunities for themselves. Everyone is an artist. And this environment has allowed me for the first time really to express myself artistically. A lot of the stuff in here is, comes in, goes out, and moving art. I like stuff that appeals to me visually, and I also like sort of exposing people to things that they don't expose themselves to intentionally.
Yeah.
I like the idea of putting what is not abnormal on display with everything else. There are things that are different for you, but it's encouraging to put that in front of people and give them an opportunity to maybe start a dialogue or create a conversation.
So someone who maybe doesn't collect vinyl or even are in the records Anything you would recommend to get them started, maybe?
Recommend to get them started. Well, I talk to a lot of people who come in here and buy CDs, and I ask them about vinyl, and they go, I don't have a record player. And I tell them, you do not need a record player to start collecting vinyl. If you wait to get a record player, it's going to delay the process. If you start getting records now and you accumulate 2, 3 of them and they're sitting there on the floor, you're going to figure out that record player situation.
Right.
You know, we understand that because of money, space, time, and all the other variables, people are trying to get something that works with their space and has great sound, but also is something that's affordable.
Right.
I'm not trying to get everybody's money now. I'm trying to get it like 5 years from now. So I appreciate the opportunity to work with people. My friend told me you can always get nicer.
Right.
You know,
Right.
The important thing is starting. An extra $20 in a starter turntable can be a real difference in quality, and that can ensure that you keep your records in quality. Because the reality is they're only going to deteriorate. So
Yeah.
starting records, man. I mean, like. I really like Jimi Hendrix, Pink Floyd, Pavement, Bob Dylan. There's so many fantastic artists. Whenever I'm getting into something new, I just kind of do some research for myself, like I imagine everybody does. Look up some background history on the record, reading about what happened at that time. It's really interesting because I feel like the music that came out in the 2000s, it's all hitting its 25-year anniversary, so there's a resurgence of this, and there's also a new opportunity for people to hear that music now and appreciate that music now.
Right.
A lot of bands getting an opportunity to retour with a whole new crowd of people, and with the people that saw them then, which is really cool. My wife was talking to me the other day about wanting to see Nine Inch Nails, and it had been 25 years since she'd seen Trent Reznor, and it's like, that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
I just saw Elvis Costello for the first time ever in my life, and I'll remember that forever.
Yeah. Yeah, we just saw the Counting Crows on Wednesday. I've seen them 4 or 5 times, and I took Isabel for the first time, and she loved them. So
It's cool because it's like our records kind of give us the opportunity to maybe time travel a little bit, you know, and I think that's important. There's so much connected to it, our emotions and everything else. Try to diversify your collection. Make sure you don't have just male artists. Make sure you include artists like Sarah Vaughan. You know, I was listening to Aretha Franklin yesterday in the car with my wife. Listen to Janis Joplin. I like the stuff that I didn't get to have access to. The house that I grew up in, music that I was able to listen to was either listened to by my parents first or edited for content. I am a firm believer not editing another artist's artistry, allowing somebody to speak their mind.
Right.
I like the opportunity to present what I have here in unedited format, and I appreciate talking to everyone, learning their point of view and understanding. And I almost any time I've ever had a conversation with somebody about something in the store that stood out to them, it was always a wonderful opportunity.
So if people want to follow you on social media, do you have...
Absolutely. We have a website, sound-annex.com. And then we also on Instagram @SoundAnnex.
Okay.
We post our live events, our product sales and availabilities on there. As I mentioned before, we also have guitar lessons. We do live music. We're always looking for new, local, established talent in the immediate area that wants an opportunity to play at a record store.
Cool.
Nirvana played at Radio Shack. We've had a lot of really cool bands that have played here at the genesis of their careers, and one very recently played Whiskey A Go Go in LA.
Oh wow!
And that's the first stage that the Doors played on in 1966.
Nice.
And they played on the same stage. We had another performer that got to play at Gilman Street. I mean, just fantastic in Berkeley. I mean, it's so cool to give youth an opportunity to see multiple generations of family there showing their support. I think we need to establish the future with the youth the more we talk and the more we learn about one another, and the more we share our appreciation for high fidelity books, films,
Right.
music, records, these things matter.
Right.
You know, they really do.
Yeah,
They really do.
I want to thank Chris for showing us around the Sound Annex. Honestly, it felt like we were hanging out in someone's cool rockin' basement. Let me show you what I picked up today. So we got a Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. We got the Kinks, Word of Mouth. We got REM's Up on CD, and the Ramones, Pleasant Dreams on CD. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Follow us on all our socials. Follow Sound Annex on all their socials. We'll see you again on my next stop on my record road trip. Peace.